Hello, welcome to the first session in GLAG Launch Week. We are so happy to have you join the global learning and agriculture community. This is the sixth gathering of GLAG, although this year looks a little different as we've changed the format from a one-week flurry to a year-long community. The theme for GLAG22 is reaching out, and we are reaching out to new ways to address the pressing global issues as educators. Today, we focus on innovation. My name is Shannon Norris. I'm an assistant professor in agricultural communications at New Mexico State University. I have a passion for food security, and I have a passion for helping find ways that we can alleviate food insecure parts around the world. And I believe that educators play a key role in carrying that large charge. So today, we get to start a session with a poem focused on food security. The poem is titled "We Are the Solution" and is read by Taku Chikipe, who is originally from Zimbabwe and is currently enrolled at Duke Divinity School.
My name is Wachikepe the Poet, and I am so pleased to be reading for the GLAG conference my poem entitled "We Are the Solution." I was inspired by Dr. Hiram Laro to write this poem. He's always talking about agriculture, food, farmers, etc. And it reads, "Food comes from God. God must be honored. Climate change being our modern day concern, we people must behave. For farmers and all producers of food, yes, we cry out for employment, market expansion, food for all. Intoxicating food, disease-causing food at the expense of who is making millions and billions out of our choices. We shun away from our lives. We close our doors. Policymakers, please help us in this issue. Why should millions and millions of dollars be stocked somewhere for whatever reason at the expense of millions and millions of people dying of hunger? Hunger is not a state of mind. It is reality. According to Ellen F. Davis, the Israelites almost rejected God because of hunger. Can you imagine? Eradication of hunger comes out of love and believing in the future. We can't be sick at the same time hungry. Lord, deliver healing and abundance in us and for us. Our brains united in the name of all our nations is all that we are lacking to deal with this life-threatening disease called hunger. Like Isaac, money we have, food we have, machinery we have, and good weather we still have. What is it that we don't have? What is it that we don't have to eradicate hunger? What is it that we don't have? What is it that we don't have to eradicate hunger? Thank you.
Thanks to Taku for that wonderful start to our session. Poetry and other forms of artistic expression are effective at attending to the emotion around food security and hunger in a way that statistics can't. If you're interested in discussing how to integrate creative endeavors into teaching practice, stay tuned for the launch of GLAGcreates later in this session. GLAGcreates is led by an action team of educators, including our program manager, Miss Nicole Weaver, who is a full-time secondary agriculture and drama teacher in Twin Valley High School in Pennsylvania. Next, we will be hearing from our featured speaker, Nassib Mugwanya, who is a 2015 Cornell Alliance for Science Fellow and is now a member of the Alliance for Science training team. Previously, Nassib worked with the National Agricultural Research Organization in Uganda, where he spent most of his time in educational and outreach engagements on biotechnology among smallholder farmers. Nassib is interested in the role of emerging scientific technologies in transforming small-scale farming systems. He has widely been involved with grassroots campaigns geared toward creating and enabling policy environment for farmers to gain access to new agricultural innovations in Uganda. Nassib, thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nassib Mugwanya. I am from Uganda. I'm currently based here at North Carolina State University, where I'm a doctoral candidate of agriculture extension and education. I would like to share with you today about the Alliance for Science. But before I share that, I would like to share my personal story that led me to be involved with the Alliance for Science organization. I grew up in Uganda in a small town called Seta Mukono, which is about 1 hour east of the country capital, Kampala. And as a kid at the time, I spent a huge amount of my vacation days, we call them holidays, in Uganda, which are like school breaks, with my grandma, who was a smallholder farmer. And she grew crops that are typical to Uganda, bananas, we call it matoke, maize, which is corn here in the United States. And as a kid at a time, I saw firsthand the challenges that smallholder farmers, such as my grandma, go through while trying to feed their families and the communities they live in. And later on in my life, when I decided to join university, I went to Makerere University in Kampala and chose a career in agriculture. And I saw this as an opportunity for me to be an advocate for smallholder farmers, and more specifically, an advocate for innovation and technological solutions that can potentially improve the farm lives of farmers in Uganda. And so I've spent much of my time as an agricultural extension educator, both in formal and informal spaces, but I enjoy spending much of my time educating farmers in informal spaces, such as their farms. And for the last 5 to 10 years, I've been a vocal advocate of science-based innovations such as biotech and their role in improving farmers' livelihoods. And in 2015, I learned about the Alliance for Science organization, which was based at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. And I was attracted to their mission, which is about promoting science-based solutions to key global challenges such as climate change, food security and nutrition, and now they are expanding into global health, specifically on matters relating to vaccine misinformation and disinformation. So I thought I would share with you, all educators all over the world, to check out the Alliance for Science organization. And it has wonderful resources that can be used to share with students on matters that are very scientific, but also controversial. And it has a collection of stories of farmers, of experts, of young people who are using science-based solutions to change the lives of the communities they're living in. And so very happy to be here, and I hope you all check out the Alliance for Science to see some of these wonderful resources, specifically on issues of scientific controversy and how to deal with that as educators who are training the next generation leaders who are going to be also dealing with some of these matters. I wish you a great time. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Evanja, Director of the Cornell Alliance for Science. Problems like hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and slow agricultural growth are impacting people globally. According to the United Nations World Food Program, there are over 795 million undernourished people in the world today. Hunger and malnutrition are in fact the #1 risk to health worldwide, greater than AIDS, malaria, and TB combined. Recent innovations could play a critical role in helping to solve these problems, and biotechnology is at the heart of this discussion. With an ever-increasing population and continued concern about environmental degradation, the goals of farmers, scientists, environmentalists, and other stakeholders are really not that different. The stakes of these humanitarian challenges demand that we use scientific evidence as one of the guiding principles in making policy decisions that are necessary to make innovations accessible to the people who need them most. Advances in research and access to new technologies have the potential to help provide a sustainable and safe food source for the world. We're currently seeing public sector scientists using plant biotechnologies to address these challenges, whether in combating banana bacterial wilt disease in Uganda, fruit and shoot borer damage of eggplant in Bangladesh, or even the ring spot virus's impact on the Hawaiian papaya. Based at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York, the Alliance for Science is a communications-based, nonprofit organization represented by scientists, farmers, NGOs, journalists, and concerned citizens from around the world who have come together to tell their stories through the use of interactive online platforms, multimedia resources, and communication training programs. Ultimately, we seek to restore the importance of scientific evidence in decision-making. We use data to make informed choices about the use of biotechnology as a tool for advancing food security, environmental protection, and health. We hope to empower our allies at the grassroots level, building a global movement to advocate for access to innovations that can play an important role in addressing these challenges. And we invite you to join us in this cause. Become an ally of the Alliance for Science and make a difference in the world today.
There are very many people who are fearful, people who hate technology in agriculture simply because of the fear and the non-science that is being put in front of them. When I found out the truth about genetic engineering, the truth about biotechnology, that's when I was like, then we need to send out the science more.
The Cornell Alliance for Science is training a network of global champions who are fighting that fear by sharing the truth about agricultural biotechnology.
Traditional ways of farming in my country are not enough to be able to feed the many. And I think that science and the technology that is happening in our midst could be a solution to that.
We all are coming with one sole purpose, one main goal, and that is to end hunger.
When I'm in Guatemala, you feel how raw it is. You can see people starving. That's what really drives me to be part of this.
It's my firm conviction that it's a fundamental right for farmers to have access to various farming options.
Through an intensive 12-week course at Cornell University, the Global Leadership Fellows refine their skills, build their power, and emerge as effective champions for science-based agricultural policies, food security, and sustainable farming.
This is a completely unique program. They have what they call grassroots approach.
There's such a rich exchange of knowledge and wisdom. We're becoming like brothers and sisters and like family.
They have made us champions of our own issues, champions of our own people.
I see us as a team of change makers who are united by one purpose, to to make the world a better place.
I cannot do it alone. I cannot succeed on my own, all by myself. That's why I realize the need to unite, the need to engage, and the need to empower a network of partners.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that totally changes you.
As they say here in America, awesome.
Isn't fascination and discovery wonderful?
Nassib, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experiences with the global learning and agriculture community. Now, it's time to learn more about the GLAGcreates Supplemental Program, which is open to all GLAG community members interested in integrating creative endeavors into their teaching practice. GLAGcreates Action Team, take it away.
Hi, I'm Hiram LaRue from Maryland. I founded Poetry X Hunger, an initiative that brings poets and their poetry to the anti-hunger cause.
Hello, my name is Ashley Shunk. I'm an international teacher and currently am in Honduras teaching science, social studies, and English to high school students. I love using my creativity to spark the imagination of colleagues and learners. You're in the right place if you want to have more impact. Let's create and celebrate our community.
Hi, my name is Maya Lopez and I'm the intern for the GLAGcreates team. Currently a first year at the Pennsylvania State University at main campus.
G'day, my name is Lynn Strong and I'm the National Program Director of Action for Agriculture. Action for Agriculture is a non-profit organisation that designs and delivers environmental and agricultural action research education programs in Australian primary and secondary schools. I look forward to sharing our programs with you as part of the year-long event that is the Global Ag Teachers Conference.
Welcome. I am Teresa Lewis. I'm an ELA teacher in Malta, New York in the United States. Currently, I teach in a PBL STEM program here.
Hi, I'm Nicole Weaver from Southeastern Pennsylvania in the United States. I teach agricultural science at Twin Valley High School, and I also advise and teach theater arts. During my 18 years in public education, I have worked to bring both groups together for greater understanding and efficacy. I am also proud to serve as the program manager for GLAGcreates. And this is our GLAGcreates team. This group of passionate individuals are dedicated to advocating for agriculture and have a love of the arts. In working together, we aim to provide you all with great opportunities to bring the arts into agriculture and engage you and your learners in new ways. If this is something that really speaks to you, our action team is always looking for like-minded leaders to help us build this program. Our thanks to the opening speaker for his wonderful presentation. And we really appreciate all of you sharing time with us today. The GLAGcreates group, all of us, have prepared this session with you in mind. We'll spend some time introducing you to some really exciting examples of how the arts can help educators in their agriculture-focused spaces and all across subject areas. Keep in mind that we'll be diving deeper into all of this over the coming year. So if what we share today is interesting to you, plan to join us for our upcoming sessions and join a community where you can be supported in your endeavors. Lastly, please feel free to chime in today or after the session with any thoughts or questions. I'd like to now turn it over to Ashley Shunk to talk about our why. Thank you.
Welcome to your community, GLAGcreates. I am so glad that you are here. Keep showing up. Be in the present moment because I want to tell you about why it is so awesome to use arts to showcase aspects of food security and agriculture. To meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, we need to integrate food security, education, health, and well-being. We are humans, and by invoking an emotional response, rather than only a cognitive response, we can develop deeper partnerships within our local and global communities. By using arts, you promote well-being, social emotional learning, and mental health for your team. Agriculture itself is a science and an art. Have you ever heard of STEAM? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. That is what we do in agriculture. The art is the crop, soil and water conservation techniques, the layout of the farmers' markets. From food, feed, fiber, to fuels, You want others to care so that your team can get closer to living out the mission and vision. You will have a lot of opportunities to take something in from our time together. GLAGcreates is your outlet for giving something back. You have to have courage and be open to seeing art in agriculture as a way to shape a more equitable and just future for all with our positive messaging. The media that we create is our culture, so let's focus on shaping a future worth fighting for. Our media has the power to improve societal conditions and planetary health. It starts by asking, what am I communicating? And who am I? A lot of people want to be more creative, so this is a great way to explore that curiosity and use your imagination to improve personal and collective well-being. By using the 5 senses and resources of science and agricultural practice that sustains human life, we can grow our community of compassionate and empathetic action takers to develop an appreciation and understanding of fiber and food production. Even more so if your audience has no real background with agriculture. Explore the visual, auditory, and performing arts to create your artist statement in your context. Whether your audience is the Board of Education, children, your grandmother, from businesses to the schoolhouse, you can use art in that setting. In my work, I use the arts to share my passion with teens and adults. It is a low-stakes way to get people interested in topics that they might not have considered before, and for them to unleash some of their creativity. Follow us on this year-long journey to develop the experience needed to share this craft of communication. I can't wait to learn from you and from your art. Keep watching to learn about some of the ways you can bring the arts into your agriculture programs.
If you could wave your magic wand and design and deliver programs that meet all the educational goals for young people, what would your wish list look like? Does that seem like your dream job? In Australia, a fit-for-purpose education system promotes equity and excellence. It cultivates critical and creative thinking, successful lifelong learners, and active and informed members of the community. G'day, my name is Lynn Strong, and I'm the National Program Director of Action for Agriculture. And this is my dream job. Our team get to connect young people in schools with real people who have lived experiences to investigate real issues together. Our programs are designed to be integrated into all of the curriculum subjects. They're tailored to meet the wants and needs of teachers and students and to give young people agency and voice. With a focus on critical and creative thinking, students engage in agricultural and sustainability awareness, understanding and action through art, design, creativity, teamwork, and project development. Today, I'm going to give you a short overview of our program for primary school students. It's called Creative Koalas, and this is how it works. We give each school a giant koala. We ask students to investigate the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We've selected 12 of those goals that have a strong focus on agriculture. We invite the students to select a goal that is important to them and their local community. We get them to investigate, do a deep dive into what are the barriers that are stopping their community achieving their goal. We then invite them to design and deliver a community behaviour change project that'll help them achieve their goal. We provide the students with role models and mentors. We've identified over 100 young people working in the agriculture sector that we've trained up to be confident communicators and trusted voices. They go into the schools and mentor the students on their journey through the program. They're role models of who you can be in the agriculture sector. We also identify local community experts that we can surround the school with. One of the legacies of the program is that those experts are there for the school to tap in well beyond the time that the program is actually in the school. We also provide extensive professional learning opportunities for teachers, like this Train the Trainer design thinking workshop. Now, the competition is in the school for 6 months. We invite the students to write a report on their community behaviour change project. What was their big idea? What worked, what didn't, what surprised them, what they do differently next time. We also invite them to create a digital diary of what they've learnt, and they submit that as part of the competition. And of course, they get to paint their solution on their giant koala, and they submit their artwork for judging. The artwork the students design and create then becomes a legacy, reminding the community and the students about the importance of looking after our planet and each other. Now, I'm looking forward to you joining me and some of the teachers that we work with to showcase our Creative Koalas program to you through the conference in March.
So let's talk about another kind of art. Let's talk poetry and how it can be used in teaching and learning settings to encourage just about anyone, young or mature, in discussions of agriculture generally and food insecurity or hunger specifically. And here's an exciting lead if you want to try poetry out. To help you use poetry, we've developed some really easy to use learning modules about poetry. And they've been tested out over the last year or two. So check out these modules and let us know what you think. And here's another resource. If you need to read or listen to some poems about hunger written by people from around the world, check out the Poetry X Hunger website. We have lots of poems posted there by young and older folks from near and far. And the poems are all about all aspects of hunger: food waste, nutrition, food bank services, etc. Here are the closing lines of a very moving, powerful poem on the Poetry X Hunger website. The poem is titled "The Hunger Dialect" by Kim Miller, who is the poet laureate of Prince William County in Virginia. Action is the cure, but we're too busy slicing up excuses while hungry people look at an empty plate full of indecision. We don't even offer them a cup of hope.
Honoring this year's theme, Reaching Out, we are going to challenge each of you to engage with our GLAG22 community through Whova right now. Using the Whova community called GLAGcreates Day 1, we encourage you to reach out to all of GLAG22 by responding to one or both of our prompts. The first prompt is, do you have thoughts, ideas, or questions about the coming attraction examples we've profiled? If you do, please share them with us right away so that we can get to know you. The second prompt is, have you met with success inspiring others through art to be more aware of or passionate about food security? Please tell us how. We want to thank you for joining that important conversation about how we can all reach out by reaching within.
So in this time we've spent with you, GLAGcreates team hopes that you've gotten a taste, a peek at how you might use the arts to help you in your personal learning, your classroom, or whatever way you educate or facilitate to others. Our goal with GLAGcreates is to give you the chance to learn, build, and share within a community through the course of sessions held during this year. We have some really exciting events planned for each month, so make sure you check the schedule. At the end of the year, we will hold a showcase with our participants to highlight and share all the wonderful things you did with agriculture and the arts this year. We hope to build a collaborative community of people who love to create and share in a new way the story of agriculture. Please plan to join us for our first session, where we'll learn about creative koalas with Lynn Strong and find ways that we can apply it in our own lives. That will be happening in March, so please look at the calendar for dates and you can join us. In April, we will be joined by Hiram LaRue, who's going to talk to us about Poetry X Hunger, and we'll be able to start working with that. And then in May, we'll be working with Ashley Shunk to learn about photography and harmony with nature and food security. In the summer months, June, July, and August, you will be able to meet with us one-on-one or in small groups for coaching sessions so that you can be working through these items, developing them for yourself, or you can be building lesson plans that you would then share with your students or learners. In September and October, we're working towards some more events where we'll be able to share with you some fun activities, including a Poetry X Hunger showcase. And then on November 22nd, 2022, mark your calendars, we will have our GLAGcreates first ever showcase where we'll get to share all the really cool things we did with arts and agriculture this year. So it's going to be an exciting year, and I really look forward to meeting you, working with you, and growing with you as artists and agricultural advocates. See you soon.
Thank you, GLAGcreates team. It sounds like there are a lot of ways for educators to get involved in the conversation on how to integrate creativity and the arts into teaching. Make sure to connect with the GLAGcreates team in the Hoover Community Forum and watch for their events throughout the year. Lastly, I'd like to remind everyone of something that was asked of you earlier in the soft starts. You see, GLAG is not just a conference, it's a community. And that means that we do things a little differently around here. Instead of just having speakers up here on the stage or on your computers, we want to turn the camera around and focus on you, the community members. We want to get to know you and learn about where you are and what you do to fight food insecurity. During the soft start, Melanie challenged all of the GLAG community members, which means you, to record a short video introduction. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, please record a video and post the link in the community forum so we can hear from you and learn a little about your context. If you missed them the first time, the instructions are linked below this presentation. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Global TCHAG Network team if you need help creating and posting your video. And please get to know your fellow community members by watching their videos. This is one of the ways that we are launching the GLAG community this year. During Wednesday's session, we will have another community engagement challenge for you, so stay tuned. I'm Shannon Norris from New Mexico State University, and it's been my pleasure to join you for this session of the GLAG Launch Week. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to watching your videos and getting to know you in the community forum. We will see you on Wednesday for the second session of GLAG Launch Week.